When you don't know what you're doing, learning how to swim might be frightening. But don't panic, there are steps you can do to make learning to swim less intimidating. It won't take you long to master swimming once you do. Chapter 1. Getting comfortable in the water. Put your fear aside. Due of their fear of drowning, many people put off learning to swim. While drownings do happen, the majority of them might have been avoided with a few basic safety precautions. When swimming, abide by these rules to significantly reduce your risk of drowning. Swim with a partner. Always have a strong swimmer with you when you go swimming, if not more than one. The ideal spot to swim is generally somewhere that has lifeguards on duty. Never learn to swim in a moving body of water. You will need to pay more attention to the movement of the water if you're learning to swim in a river or ocean. If you must learn to swim this manner, try to learn with a knowledgeable instructor and pay attention to the instructions for getting out of a riptide or a rushing river below. Until you have enough water experience and are sufficiently at ease in the water, use the appropriate safety equipment. Keep your depth to a level you can manage. Don't go into water that is too deep for you to stand in while you are initially beginning to swim. That way, if something goes wrong, all you have to do is get up and take a breath. Avoid going swimming while it's bad outside. It should be okay to swim in a small rain shower, but if you see or hear a storm approaching, get out of the water right once. Regardless matter how well you can swim, you must abide by this guideline. Avoid swimming in frigid water. If the water is chilly, it might suddenly be difficult to move your limbs to paddle. Get comfortable floating. When you're in the water, grab onto a dock or the edge of a pool and allow your legs to float out behind you. If you let them, they should rise with ease. While your upper body floats, some people want to sink to the bottom. Just try the approach once more without worrying. To become acclimated to letting half of your body float, practice doing this on your stomach and your back. As soon as you're prepared, try floating on your back or your stomach. Keep your depth shallow so you can easily stand up if it doesn't work out. You'll become used to having water around your ears while having your nose and mouth in the air, even if it can seem strange at first. Put your arms out straight so that your body forms a T shape for more support. You might try inhaling deeply before floating if this is your first time floating. Your body will undoubtedly float if your lungs are full of air. Perform this up till you gain additional expertise. Not to worry. Always keep in mind that you have a backup plan in case you find yourself at an unmanageable depth or are otherwise unable to move your limbs. Float on your back. If you can't swim, just lie back as flat as you can and let the water carry you while you gather your composure. Don't thrash around or start breathing fast. Holding your breath and having your lungs full of air are helpful tips for floating on your back. Another helpful suggestion is to expose your tummy. Exhale underwater and practice. Deepen your breath and submerge your face while you're still in a shallow depth. Exhale slowly through your nostrils until you run out of air, then stand back up. Bubbles ought to release. You can also exhale via your mouth, however this frequently results in a torrent of large bubbles. You can use a nasal plug or hold your nose shut if you find it painful to exhale through your nose, or you can exhale through your mouth. Chapter 2. Beginning strokes and treading water. Work on your leg kicks. You may practice kicking whether you're floating on your back or still clinging to the pool's edge. Practice using a kickboard to see how far each kick can carry you. As a result, you are free to concentrate on your kicking technique without having to worry about staying afloat. Consider a flutter kick. Keep your legs relatively straight, point your toes out like a ballerina, and kick lightly with alternating legs. Your ankles need to have the greatest range of motion. Consider a whip kick. From your hips to your knees and from your knees to your ankles, keep your legs firmly clasped together. Your thighs should remain together the entire time as you swiftly draw your shins apart and move them in a circular manner while bending your knees to around a 90-degree angle. That is, move your right leg to the right and your left leg to the left, tracing a half circle with each leg. At the base of the circle, reunite your shins and raise them again to resume the kick. Try a kick with an egg beater. This kick is frequently used to maintain a vertical stance when swimming and keep your head and shoulders above the water. Begin with your legs slightly wider than hip width apart and your knees bent. Next, pedal each leg like you would a bicycle, but with the reverse direction. One leg should pedal ahead while the other leg should pedal backward. Although it takes some getting accustomed to, this one is useful for resting when your feet are unable to contact the ground. Find out how to crawl. As a novice, crawls are excellent strokes to master because they allow you to move rapidly. Here is how to perform them. Start with a backstroke. Lay flat on your back and kick your legs in the air. Lift one arm straight into the air and maintain it there as it re-enters the water near to your head while doing the crawl motion with your arms. Once it is submerged, bend it to straighten it out again close to your side, then repeat. Swim with alternate arms and make an effort to maintain your palms flat and your fingers together. Attempt a front stroke, also known as a freestyle or American crawl. Floating on your tummy, move forward by crawling with your arms while performing a flutter kick with your legs. When you are ready to push the water behind you, raise one arm out of the water so that it is reaching forward. Then, lower it back down. Exchange the arms. Your head must be turned to one side and lifted high enough to allow you to take a breath under the crawling arm. So that you breathe once every 2 strokes, take a breath beneath the same arm each time. Walk on water. Without really swimming, treading water might help you collect your breath and maintain your balance. Use your hands to maintain balance while performing the egg beater kick described above. To scull, keep your forearms flat on the water's surface and see them as butter knives spreading on a piece of toast. Both arms should be moved in a clockwise and counterclockwise motion. To rise from the bottom, use your arms. Use your arms to propel yourself up if you're underwater and want to surface. Place them directly above your head, then swiftly lower them to your sides. You should rise a few feet as a result. Until you breach the surface, repeat. Warnings. Never go swimming during a thunderstorm that has lightning. If lightning strikes water, it may shock everyone who is in it. Even if you are kilometers away and hear thunder, you might still be struck by lightning. Swimming in a lake or ocean that is moving requires tremendous caution. You could be abruptly dragged away from the coast by rip currents. The process of learning to swim takes time. Never attempt to chew more than you can bear. Never try to swim in the deep end of a pool if you are just learning how to do so, unless you are with an adult who is a great swimmer.